Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is the Nicholas Prostakis Chalobah channel, and today, yet again, no soccer news really outside of the transfer world today and recall world. Of course, we have to wait until Saturday for the Morecambe game, so the review won't be out until Friday for that. So, in the meantime, with the transfer window officially back and underway, we finally are starting to get some productive news revolving around our team. Maybe not revolving around signings, but like I said, players that may be going out on loan, players that may be being recalled, players that may be being sold. Those have been the pieces of news we've seen so far. I have not, and I don't think anybody has heard anything about any players that would be bringing in, not even rumors of players who might be being brought into the team. So we'll have to wait until we see what happens on that front, but there's been quite a decent amount of news revolving around guys like Veiga. Will he be loaned out or will he stay? There's news around Cesare Casade. Will he be sold to Torino or will another Italian side come in for him? There's been news revolving more around Wesley Fofana, so I wanted to get more into that as well. There's also big news, in my opinion, about Chalobah. Those are the four pieces of news I wanted to gather today. I wanted to go over those four players, as that's, I think, the most relevant news that you guys want to hear about. So let's chop straight into the news article. So here's our first piece of news. It's on Wesley Fofana. I think this is probably the biggest piece of news you could say right now. The fact that he has said that Maresca is not right. He's not going to be out for the rest of the season. He'll be out for around 4 to 6 weeks, so about a month, not a month and a half, if he forgoes surgery on his hamstring. Now, we know how important a player of Wesley Fofana's caliber is. We know how important he was at the beginning of the season, how important that combination between Colwell and Wesley Fofana were. They were doing very, very well. But is it worth it? Is it worth rushing him back? I guess you could say rushing him back. After 4 to 6 more weeks, will he be ready to go if he were not to do a surgery? Now, I don't know. We have a guy like Achimpong who just came back. Now, Achimpong did it really, really well in the Crystal Palace game. Don't get me wrong. But you can't just start depending on him, and you need other options. Again, 4 to 6 weeks isn't a crazy amount of time. With that in perspective, he should be back maybe end of February, early March. And that's still basically 2 months left of good footy to remain. So, looking at this, it says Fofana himself is expecting about 4 to 6 weeks if a message is reported by, there's a fan account, but L'Equipe reports a similar optimism. L'Equipe is probably the biggest French, I guess, journalist site that goes over soccer. So this is a trustable thing. He himself has said it. L'Equipe has reported it. It is something that we can believe. Now, do I think that, personally, this is my personal opinion, this is going to connect with the next article we have, but let's stick with Wesley Fofana for just a second. I personally think that Wesley Fofana is too important a player for Chelsea. Now, if he himself thinks that this surgery will not hinder him after the time he gets it, or after the time he starts playing, and he won't suffer another problem with his hamstring or muscle problem, then sure, fine. But it's hard to predict these things. If he starts to suffer the same recurring hamstring problem as Reece James might have, because we are hamstring FC, of course, then he might have to get that surgery. Because here at this club, we have so many problems with hamstring problems and injury problems that reoccur over time that it's not worth it. It's not worth risking it and worth getting another problem. It's not worth it. It really is not worth it. So, just for my personal opinion, sure, fine. Don't get the surgery. See what happens when you get back. He's too important of a player. He knows he wants to benefit and help the team at the end of the season. And if that's what he thinks he's going to be able to do, then sure as hell, I'm perfectly fine. As long as we maybe secure the next guy, maybe back from loan, I'm perfectly fine with it. So this is the connection with Wesley Fofana. Chalobah does indeed have a loan break option in his deal with Crystal Palace. And this is a seriously important thing that Chelsea are going to have to consider. It already seems that they are considering bringing him back. I mean, this is one where I have already spoke on it. I made a video that was going on about what I exactly wanted Chelsea to do if they were to bring back Chalobah. And at this point, it's all too clear. We need more options here Benoit Badiashile out for we don't even know how long. Wesley Fofana we know is going to be back around late February, late mid-March, something around that time period, anywhere between that time period. We have a guy like Achimpong who just proved he could do a decent job as maybe a guy who could play even right now or a third option. Put in a great display in his debut. He's going to give you a decent shot every single time, I'm almost certain. He has a great shot to play against Bournemouth on Tuesday. Or even on an FA Cup on Saturday. But if you bring back Trevoh Chalobah, you're giving a guy who've already stated is my third to second best center back option of the team. I think he's a shot. He's better already than what we had in West. I think this guy already knows basically what he wants to do. They said he wasn't going to be able to fit the system here. And I think that's ridiculous. They wouldn't be considering bringing him back right now if he didn't fit the system. That's just utter nonsense in my opinion. Bring back Trevoh. It's almost too set and clear. We have injuries to this position. Of course, Anselmino, is going to be here, so the position might grow a bit more in depth. But Anselmino could easily go on loan. We have this international spot to put him somewhere else. We might also well be able to send him to Strasbourg if other recalls do happen. That's my opinion with that. But I think that you need it. You need it for your depth. You need it for overall placement. I think if you slot in Trevoh next to Levi in a starting lineup, you are so much more defensively solid than we were before. So much more. We had to watch Axel Disasi. We had to watch Benoit Badiashile. We had to watch Tosin. These guys, I mean, it's their first years here. Trevoh understands what it means to be a Chelsea player. Not much of these other players understand what it means to be a Chelsea player yet. So why not, man? Why not recall him? Give us more depth for the last 6 months of the season when our defense hasn't performing the way we wanted it to these last 4-ish games. Why not give Trevoh a start? He's been playing all year. He's been playing spectacularly well. He has 3 goals at center back. None of our center backs even have more than 1 this season. He's been proving he's been good on set pieces. And that's exactly what we need right now is a guy who can actually be helpful on set pieces. So why not bring back Trevoh, give us another option, help out guys behind him that need it, like Achimpong. He needs a bit more help. He might be able to start some more games for the upcoming future because of how he's played, but I can't see him playing every single one. So let's give them help. Bring back Trevoh Chalobah. This is the last article more on the transfer sales end, which is Renato Veiga has some interest from Juve. I think there's Napoli interested. And I think there's one other team. It's in the article. I'll have to look at it. But he has interest on loan to go to those teams for the remainder of the season. And as I've been seeing on either fan accounts or as you see in this article, especially Maresca sees him as a important regular player who could definitely get regular season game time either throughout his career or for the rest of the season. Now, I don't know about the regular season part. I think that there's a bigger chance he could end up becoming a regular starter in the future over right now. He's only 21, if I'm not mistaken, Renato Veiga. I wonder if the article says it. I don't know if it does. But you're talking about here how Stuttgart was the other team, Napoli, and I think below it talks about Juve as well. So you have these 3 teams, very big, prominent teams. Will give him playing time. Here at Chelsea, his position's a little, locked. Cucurella, is a really brilliant left back. And of course, I don't think that Veiga starts over him right now. In the midfield, it's a little too deep, but I would have liked to see him get some playing time in the midfield, maybe for a guy on Saturday. Maybe could have helped this out a bit. And then even at center back, we know Veiga can play there, so he's a really big Swiss Army knife player playing in 3 positions, and he can play them all well. That's why these major teams in Europe want him. Teams like Napoli, who are in a title race, want to bring him in to be rotation. Teams like Juve, who are trying to improve where they are on the table, they're currently like 6th in this area. They want to bring him in. And in Stuttgart, a team that desperately needs help right now, they're in like 10th place in the Bundesliga after their incredible season last year. They need help. So Renato Veiga is only going to improve their chances. And of course with us, he's only played 176 minutes despite being a frequent starter in the Conference League. That's it. He's played an okay amount, especially for Conference League and Cup games. He started every single one, almost certain. But in games like in the Premier League, he's barely gotten game time. Of course, he played a full game in that Bournemouth 1-0 away win. He played that entire game as the starting CDM, I'm almost certain. But that's like been the only game time he's really gotten in the Premier League. It's not enough. I mean, of course, he was a brilliant signing when you think about how we spent on him. We spent a total of how much? 12 million was the total price we paid on Renato Veiga. 12 million is not much for a guy who can play so many positions, is young, It's very, very big in this league to be able to play that many positions. And to get him for that price, it's even better. It's even better. So right now, if I had to say anything, if Veiga's going to get the same amount of playing time for the rest of the season, then it might be considering worth loaning him out. But if we continue to get this kind of injuries, and we're going to need the depth. We're going to need the depth. It's that set in stone. We're going to need it. So I don't think loaning him out is a smart option. I think we hold on to him. But if we get a loan deal where it's too good to be true, or we get some kind of loan option, loan fees in return, then you might have to be thinking about it. But right now, I think you need to keep as much depth as possible in the team, especially with the amount of injuries now we're starting to build up throughout so far throughout this season. So I would say no to this loan as it stands. Moving on now to Cesare Casade, of course, pretty much one of the only players so far that has been most likely about to leave, that we've received £10 million offers from Torino. We don't want to accept those £10 million offers. I agree. I think that Cesare Casade is a brilliant young Italian midfielder with a large amount of potential if he's able to show it. In a system that Maresca plays, he's played more as like a defensive midfielder. He's not really that kind of defensive midfielder. He's more of a box-box, get further up the field, but also being able to, show defensive capabilities at times. Top scorer in the U21 World Cup, was it, or Euros? I don't know what it was. He was also the most outstanding player in that tournament. He's a brilliant, brilliant player. So I know what he could do. Most Chelsea fans know what he could do, but at this point, I think that we're better off saying, like, we want to sell him. But the thing is about this is we bought him for 13 million almost from Inter Milan. We want to sell him. I think they said for close to 16 million. They want to earn a profit on this sale, but they also want to include a buyback clause. I don't know if it says it in this article. Yes, it says they want a buyback clause. I can fully understand it. Even if it's like a 25, 30 million pound release clause or buyback clause that we have, they're still going to earn a profit, Torino. Cesare Casade himself, I've seen, has said yes to this move, which makes perfect sense. Of course, he could have left this summer, but he decided against it, which I really didn't understand. But he's giving opportunity now from Torino, who are a Serie A team, a decent Serie A team to get playing time. And it really should be a helpful one for his entire career. So if I was him, I would take this offer. Chelsea, I would take this money while we have the opportunity and include the buyback option, even if it is a little hefty, if he is proving to be a wonderful player. Maresca's used him before, so might be able to get the best out of him when he even proves more. So I'm a big fan of this sale and possible buyback. So let me know what you guys think of all the rumors, possible transfer rumors, and all of the above. Right now, I think it's still extremely early in the January transfer window. It just basically started. There's a lot of time left for big moves and loans and recalls, so we'll have to see what ends up happening. I would say that I don't think. Again, I might make a transfer signing video, but I really don't know how much business we're going to get done, so I don't even know if it's worth it. I would just say, before I say anything about that, striker, possibly bringing back a center back. If we bring out Chalobah, we don't need a center back, in my opinion. We don't need. I don't think we're not going to replace anything with goalies. The only position I think we need to sign is a striker at this point. That's it. But let me know what you guys think of everything that's happened so far and all the rumors and all the news that's came out so far. Again, no games till Saturday, so there will be upcoming videos, more about transfer sagas and transfer rumors in the upcoming days. So let me know what you guys think. See you then. Peace.